Hello, my name is Ray Salazar, and this is Morning Reel, a 3 minute or 100 minute or so podcast of films that I review, whether they suck, whether they won a Razzie, whether they won an Academy Award, Juno Award, whatever. I talk about it. I love music. I like jazz. I play guitar. I've been playing guitar for like over, I don't know, 20 years, I guess, since I was like 12 or 11, just on and off. But when it comes to like playing guitar, making up riffs and all that stuff, I sort of have a drummer's mind. I always like imagine like some sort of backbeat happening in my head, and I'm just playing a rhythm based off that. I am honored to be sitting with a man who's been involved in music, whether it's hip hop, whether it's Cuban, Spanish, salsa, things of that nature, who knows a thing or two about music and drumming and discipline and all that stuff. And the film that we're going to review today is called Whiplash. Eric, thank you for coming through the morning reel.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. This is really cool because I always love the opportunity to talk about music or films that have to do with music. So it's great to be here.
I'm glad, man. Whiplash. I just kind of threw it out there, you know? There's not a lot of films about drummers, really. It's very scarce.
True. It
And
is true.
I love this one because it felt very real what you were watching. Um, it's not cute. I'm pretty sure, much like the music business. Fucking playing in a band, becoming successful, playing shows. A lot of practice, a lot of discipline goes into it. You being that you're a drummer, I'm sure there's a lot of moments where like, man, I fucking hated my band leader or my teacher, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I went to when I went to college, I majored in jazz studies. So a big thing about jazz studies is, you're in one of the jazz bands, either the A band or the B band, you know, or playing in combos and stuff like that. Because in jazz studies and in that music field in college, it's all about the playing of music. You're taking lessons at the same time. You're learning the technical parts of it, like music theory and everything. So it's all music based. But the main thing was, being in the jazz band, which um, you get to compete as well with other colleges that are there to win the competition, win their little awards, and have bragging rights as like, oh man, this school has got the best band, or the best, you know, uh, the most record of wins, in competitions and stuff like that. So it does become a big thing, and like with that movie Whiplash, in a lot of ways, it kind of hit close to home because of the competitiveness about it. You having, teachers or band conductors that really they want the best from their students, but some of them go at it in a way that's cool and not, condescending. Then you have others that, can really be assholes and dicks to you just to try to get the best out of you. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. And Whiplash, the movie, and the whole premise of it kind of brought me back to that time because I kind of like had both sides of it. I had teachers that were cool that just they wouldn't put you down. They would put you to practice more or whatnot. Then you have the other ones that will kind of be condescending to you and be make you kind of feel a little like shit. So it kind of brought things home for me.
And with like that type of language being like poured upon you as a musician, I mean, in the film, it worked. Fletcher, just poured it onto Andrew, and it was sort of like I got to take this, man. Like if I want to be the best.
Well,
What is that all about with musicians? Kind of
you,
like pleasing their.
well, in jazz in particular, you know, there's a lot of innovators and icons in jazz music, and fortunately, I grew up playing music on stage with my dad before entering college. So my dad, for example, he was a great teacher, but he would call you out on certain shit, and if you tried to you know be more than what you really were, he would call you out on it. At the same time, he helped to bring out the best out of you without having to really be condescending. And it seems like sometimes you go into college situation or university that you get these band instructors that I call them frustrated musicians. They can play and everything like that, but they they didn't make it themselves as far as being in a big band or touring and things like that. They wound up being stuck teaching at a university, which is not that it's bad, but at the same point, if they had a choice, they would much rather be playing and doing that, playing on stage, playing jazz clubs and things like that, as opposed to being the chairperson of a jazz studies program. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like you know I think there's different ways in which to communicate that to the students. The students are just trying to come into themselves and be like the best that they can be. But sometimes the way that a teacher could push you could backfire on a person and make that young musician not even want to fuck with music.
Yeah, that's wild. I definitely love this film. The editing is great, especially during the last scene. Really, the last scene is the best scene.
Yeah.
It's like it's the showdown. Like the film has 3 acts. The third act is basically the showdown, and Andrew gives it to Fletcher. Man, he ups it,
Yeah. He ups it like big time. And
and his dad watches like in horror almost.
yeah, because, it's part that you're seeing, the main character being like so determined to be the best, so determined to be the best that he can be, willing to sacrifice everything just to be the best. He sacrificed his relationship, with his girlfriend because he wasn't going to have time to be doing all this stuff with her and not be thinking about music or not be practicing and making sure that he knew what he had to do in the band, learn the charts and all that. And sometimes that determination, everything can get the best of you, you know and in a way it kind of worked out for him because he he was able to show the band conductor that he was good,
And
that he was really good,
he's
and
really
that he
good.
can do it despite everything that what he was the band conductor was throwing at him, trying to make him look like a fool.
Yeah,
That last scene, that was kind of dirty on his part.
it's
You know,
revenge.
Yeah, and he knew that he found out that homie, the Andrew was his name, that
Yeah,
um
testify.
yeah, that he got him fired
Yeah,
because of his little testimony, and the teacher wasn't gonna go for that. So he threw something at him that was really dirty. And at the same point, I mean, he almost gave up. He almost gave up. And if he would have would have given up, he would have lost that whole battle and probably just said, fuck it,
Fuck music or
fuck
fuck
music,
jazz or whatever.
fuck jazz, fuck all of that shit.
Go to rock and roll.
But he went right back in and he did something that he knew and that he was ready to do and he was ready to show it and he did it and he in a way he gained that teacher's respect
Yeah.
in a big way. And that was cool. But that road to get to that point was kind of fucked up.
And I like that you said it, you build respect, and there's not a lot of people who, as much of an asshole some people are, like, as long as you got respect, I mean, that's what it all matters.
True.
Yeah. It's crazy because, like, this film, it was directed by Damien Chazelle. He also did La La Land.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've seen that film.
Yeah.
But there's a link between those two films when it comes to, like, making choices, that can, like, turn your life around, really, like a career, and like mixing your career with your passion and seeing if you can, like, really, like, make two into one. And by looking at these movies, especially in Whiplash, that shit's never gonna be easy, man. You're gonna break people's hearts.
It's never
It's crazy.
It's never gonna be easy, because it's crazy choices that you have to make. You know, when you're a student in college, your aspiration is to be like in a band or in a big band, jazz band, doing festivals, doing gigs in a regular fashion, I mean, not sporadic, but you're doing things and you're making a living from it.
Mhm.
That's what any musician that is in the band, wants in a jazz band or a symphonic band or anything like that. Maybe not so much in a marching band. That's just more fun. But when you're like in a jazz band, you're in the jazz the A band, and then you have the B band. The A band are the ones that are winning the competitions, or they have the opportunities. The B band isn't looked at as highly as the A band, and you have to make a choice. You have to make a choice of whether you're going to practice your ass off several hours a day, just to gain the respect and also keep your position in the band. You want to be, if there's four trombone players, you want to be the first. You get all the best parts.
First chair.
Or first, you want to be either that or the second one. You get good parts. If you're the fourth trombonist, you're getting the little skimpy parts that you're not really able to shine. And everybody in a jazz band, they want to get their time to shine. And
That's crazy.
that's you have to sacrifice. And sometimes those choices, they can go good for you and some of them won't.
And that's where it stops too, because we don't know what happens after that performance. All we know that people went fucking wild after that shit.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I mean, competitions are also taken very seriously, and you get that in Whiplash. Like, you wanna, win particular competition and have those bragging rights and everything like that. You always want to be that band that everybody's trying to be like, and there are ways that you go about it. And with conductors, it's like, they really want their band to be the best. They'll keep you an hour or 2 hours after class just to make sure that things are right and precise. You know what I mean? And you're like, fuck, I need to go and do other homework, or I need to just rest or whatever like that.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about that. They're
fuck
thinking
that,
about
it's band or nothing.
Exactly. And that's what's up. And you get that with Whiplash. You really feel that. I mean, even if you're not so much a musician, you can feel that. But if you're a musician, you're like, you really feel that, especially if you've been in like a college band or a top high school band that is known for being competitive and winning all these competitions.
Definitely a film to watch. Anybody who aspiring to be a professional and serious taking musician. So watch Whiplash. Bobo, I want to thank you for being on this podcast. I didn't ask you. You just asked me. You asked me like, "Hey man, where we're gonna do it?" And I'm like I said, it's an honor, dude. I'm glad to sit with you and talk music with you because I love music, man. And like hearing you talk about music and finding out how you grew up into music, like drumming with your father. That's pretty badass, man.
Yeah, I
That's
was very
cool.
fortunate, man, and to be able to grow up with a lot of these top-notch jazz musicians. I learned the dedication and the things that you have to do to kind of make it work for you, and it doesn't happen with everybody. So, it was a little bit of luck, a little bit of talent, a little bit of patience, a little bit of just determination, all of that, and it's great. I wouldn't trade it for the world. But thank you for having me. And again, this movie is a definite must see for any aspiring musician.
Yeah.
And just in one way or another, follow your dreams, follow your passion. Whether you play music for fun, play music in a band that plays at a bar or whatever. Express yourself. If you're a musician, express yourself and don't let the pressures, fuck with you.
Hell yeah. You have any shout outs, man?
Oh yeah. Shout out to you of course for even having me on here, and to my family and to my dad and to all the musicians out there that, you know, aspire to be great and be dope musicians and to live your dream, keep on, and don't give up.
Don't give up. Follow Eric Bobo on IG, YouTube. Follow Cypress Hill. Fucking buy, download Back in Black. Follow me, Morning Shot Films on IG and YouTube. Rate and review this podcast. And next week, I will be recording Brokeback Mountain with XG. It's going to be a fun one. I'm going to be doing The Notebook with Aton because that's one of his favorite movies of all time. Thank you.